What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and something I'm really quite excited to talk to you guys about, and that is a new boxing game coming out called Bloody Knuckles. Well, when I say coming out, I more mean in the works. Now, all credit goes to Boxing Fanatico. He made a video on this, and about 2 minutes into his video, I was like, you know what, I've got to stop watching here. I've got to go and find out for myself. I've got to follow this dude on Instagram and YouTube. Make sure you guys do as well. And I was like, I've got to go check out his channel, watch his dev vlogs, and see what it's all about. And I think what's funny about this is I made this video a few months back talking about how we need a bare knuckle game. We need a bit of boxing with a bit of brutality. Like ESBC is like pure realism boxing. I was saying we need a bit of grit, a bit of brutal bashing each other's heads in. And that is pretty much what this game is going to be. So today we're going to be talking about it a bit. I'll show you guys a bit of gameplay. And like I said, if you want like more, you know, dev talk stuff, make sure you go subscribe to his YouTube channel. I'll leave it linked in the description. And yeah, let's get into it. So I just want to clear some ground really quickly. And I just want to say that there seems to be people that are kind of weird that second something new comes out or something, anything fighting related comes out, they have to jump right into, oh my god, ESBC is so much worse than this. I want to point when it comes to the boxing world of gaming where we can just say this is awesome. We have two different styles, two different teams. ESBC is going to be that pure realism, big team, big roster. This game is going to be that more unique, that gritty, that street fight, and bit of gloves, bit of bare knuckle. Let's just enjoy that we may have two, maybe more in the future. So that's all I want to say about that. So anyways, let's jump into the video. Now the thing that got me the most excited when I knew I was like, I have to make a video on this, is when I asked him this question. So I spoke to him briefly, and then I eventually said, I'll make a video on it soon. Would I be able to ask you just one question? If you can't answer it or don't want to, no drama. Is the style you're going for more street fight and bare knuckle with boxing based physics kind of vibe, or just a more pure boxing game? I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to the demo, because you mentioned, you know, things about demo and staying tuned, you know, obviously as these small companies do, where they say like, you know, stay tuned kind of thing, which is awesome. And he responded with, which I just think is awesome, it will be based on street boxing vibe with a heavy focus on boxing fundamentals. There'll be modes for gloves and bare knuckles. Think Def Jam New York meets Fight Night. And I obviously just said that sounds incredible. Now, while I'm not the biggest Fight Night Champion guy, he mentioned that the prison bit in the Fight Night Champion story mode was something that made him be like, well, this is fucking cool. And I said, you know what, I agree. Fight Night Champions, one of their most popular things is their bare knuckle mode, because it's so unique. And that comes from that prison storyline in the game. Like I said, I spoke about this a few months ago about how we need like a bare knuckle game, and this guy is making it, and he's a really cool dude as well. So make sure you guys follow him, like I said. And yeah, like I said, guys, this is something where I was like, okay, looks cool. Spoke to him a bit, and I was like, all right, now this is fucking awesome. Like, I want a bare knuckle boxing game like this. I want to inflict some pain on people in the streets, but with that solid box, not just these wild swings. Good boxing fundamentals, but in the streets. I wonder if, you know, when he sets up arenas for out in the streets, if you'll be able to back people up against fences or like parked cars and but. Not like Mortal Kombat or nothing like that, just like use that as your ring, where like they'll have to move like, you know, fight off the ropes, but instead of the ropes it'll be a wooden fence or a car or something. But anyways. Now we can see from the gameplay that's been popping up, the game is clearly on the right path. It's something that a lot of us want to play, even in this current early build as boxing and boxing game fans. You guys know that looking at this, if it was on Steam, you guys would download it for sure. And the way he described it to me was that Def Jam New York meets Fight Night Champion. Which, as Def Jam New York is considered the best Def Jam and Fight Night is the most modern Fight Night, it feels like a pretty solid combo. Now a few things I want to talk about in this video, so you guys now know the vibe of the game, the kind of the what he's going for, that street fighting, bare knuckle, and with gloves, and with head guards, as we've seen, unique movements and stuff like that. But there's a few things I want to cover that are important for a boxing game. The first one being health, and for that I'm going to let him say, because he said this in his video.
So if your head is in critical damage but your body isn't, you got to guard your head more than anything, because your head is going to be what's going to get you killed the fastest. I implemented that same damage system. I have a health for the head and a health for the body. The more shots you take to the head or body, the more the health of that region is going to go down. And the lower that health is, the more damage is going to be dealt to your total health. It's going to multiply. Dope, right?
I think that that's a really, really solid plan. You know, you have a health, and you have an overall health. I think that's great. I think it works well. I hope that it's not like that Mortal Kombat where you have to eliminate full health bars to knock the opponents out. I hope it is just, you know, like as he mentioned, the more lower that is, the more damage you'll take. But I would like to see maybe some knockdowns, maybe with a higher health, not often, just, because that could happen. Someone comes in, they miss that shot, your bare knuckle, perfect shot across the chin as they overextend. That's going to hurt someone or drop someone, even if they're pretty fresh. Next one, and a really important one, is stamina. And for that, he also said this.
I also added a stamina system. You gotta watch your stamina, bruh. So the stamina depletes after every punch you throw. If you let your stamina get too low, your movement speed and punch speed is gonna drop dramatically. So don't go too crazy throwing these tough ass combos I put in there, because it's gonna be hard not to. I deal with it myself.
Both of these feel like they'll work well, and they're unique to his game, and that's what you want. You don't want just this guy to be like, I'm a fan of Def Jam, I'm a fan of Fight Night, let me copy them. He's been like, let me take my favourite small parts from these games and make something unique, which I think is just absolutely fantastic. Now, with the game being called Bloody Knuckles, and I have to say, I think that is just such a cool, it's just such a cool title. That's something that would attract me in an instant. You tell me there's a fighting game called Bloody Knuckles, I'm not even going to check reviews. I'm not asking you how it is, I'm downloading it. So I think he's onto a great concept with the name and with the style of the game. Obviously, like I said, most of the game will be that street boxing, which, as I said, I love the concept of. He also showed there was stuff in gyms, with, on the heavy bag. There was head guard, as well as gloves on the fighters, and a few blocking styles, which I love to see. Instead of just this, he showed a little bit of a Philly shell. I can't imagine how difficult these things are to program, but from the animations we're seeing, they're very solid, basic boxing fundamental. He's not gone for nothing crazy unique. However, when we speak of crazy unique strikes, the one thing he did point out was the dash system. He did also speak about haymakers, but I want to focus on the dash system, because he wanted to do it as if someone's coming at you, you can dash back, dash to the side, so you can be defensive. And then obviously you can dash forward to be more offensive. However, with doing that, he mentioned, I'll put it up on screen now, that through making these two systems, the strikes and the dashes, you can dash and punch. You can't punch while dashing. You have to come to the end of your dash and then throw the strike, which just makes sense. It's almost like a big step forward, bang, and you're back there. Instead of like dashing and stepping, you dash and then you're coming forward. So things like the dash, calling it that, does give off that arcade vibe, but it's still, we can tell there is a focus on pure realistic boxing fundamentals. And one more thing that was shown that I want to talk about. Like I said, if you guys want to have more detailed looks, go and check his YouTube channel out. That's why I'm not covering every little bit that he spoke about, because that's just taking it away from him. Go and check out his YouTube channel. Go and show him some support. Tell him I sent you. And then also look into it more detail in yourself, because I'll be covering it, of course. But that's why I didn't want to cover every little detail. But I want to cover one more thing that is one of my favourite things from an old Fight Night. Now, of course, I'm not saying he's stolen this, if you will, because it is a great concept. And I think this should be in all Fight Night, UFC, MMA games, I really do. And that is the knockout. Now, the knockout system is something that he's shown that I just fucking love. So you bang, bang, you've knocked your opponent, goes into a form of slow motion, and then you can unload if you want to. If they're falling, you could crack them. And as he mentions, I'll put it up on screen in a second, but as he mentioned, if you get someone in a sticky situation where they're in the corner and you knock them out in the corner, chances are you can just unwail on them. You can just fucking but until eventually a hook throws them that way and they go to the ground.
As you can see here, when you land a knockout punch, time slows down a bit. But the best part about the slow motion KO is that I programmed it in a way that you can get a couple extra hits in after you knock them out, and each hit makes the time slow down again and again. So if you knock your player out in a good position, let's say you got him hemmed up on the ropes and he can't fall to the ground immediately, you could just wail on his ass until he fall and hit the ground. Because the game doesn't end until the player hits the ground. That's another feature I added in there. Tell me that ain't lit.
And people love this from Fight Night 2004 because it had that like the whole game was fun, but that was like bang against the ropes and you see them do this and their arms drop and you can just go da 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 da, and it was something that was just brilliant. And I think he's made it look very, very cool. Also, one more thing I want to point out, I know the fighters that he's gone for aren't final, but if I talk to him again, I'm going to say I like this idea of the guys being in hoodies and joggers. I know it sounds stupid to like point out something so minuscule, but I like that. I don't want to see every boxing game, every MMA game have shorts and strict fighting uniforms. If he's going for that street fight, I want a street fighting vibe, I want to see those hoodies, those joggers, those beanies, the trainers, obviously some shorts and t-shirts, but I like that street clothes wearing style that he's gone for so far. Just a game that I knew I had to talk about. It's funny that I mentioned about a bare knuckle game a few months back, and you know, shout out, like I said, to this dude, and shout out to Boxing Fanatico as well for covering this first. Obviously, all credit to both of them. But I knew, as someone that wants that, you know, one thing I know that we love on my channel is the old UFC games, the brutality of that ground and pound where you hit someone there and their head's doing all that. We love that shit. So can you imagine that bare knuckle in a boxing game like this, you know, that this solo creator that's working hard, chances are he's happy to put out in probably, I don't know when, but my guess would be maybe in 6 odd months, puts out a little demo, 2 fighters, glove mode, bare knuckle mode, and says, let's have a go. And we just get to experience this project, and I think it's awesome. But yeah, make sure you guys go and show him some love. He's on Instagram as, obviously I will put them in the link, but he's on Instagram as ZJ_Duckett, and then on YouTube as, what is it? I had to write it down. Love Seat Shorty. So make sure you guys go check him out. And yeah, thank you as always for watching. Drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.